Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation, the 1-2 combo for driving the first 5 visits, a playbook for acquisition and retention. I want to give a quick shout out to my team at Branded Strategic for helping me promote this webinar. It could be how you found out about it. Let's also please say thanks to SpendGo and Targetable for making this webinar happen. Now, we're going to be on here 45, 50 minutes. It's a little bit longer than normal, but I swear to you, it is worth it. Before this webinar ends, we promise we're going to show you an easy to plan 2-step combo that is going to help you attract more guests and get them again to make those first 5 purchases. So Andrew, Alec, Bob, Brett, that sound good? I hope that sounds good to you. All right, let's kick into this. Okay, now this presentation is helpful to 3 types of people, not including those who are hosting it. Okay, if you are a multi-location brand marketer or anyone who needs to measure your marketing efforts, you are in the right place. If you are an owner, an operator, a founder, or somebody who is still involved with the marketing of your restaurant brand, boom, you are here at the right time, in the right place. And lastly, if you are a hospitality marketing agency, you too are in the right place. You are either going to get the instructions you need on how to do this, or those to be able to show somebody else how to do this for you. So now that we know that we're all in the right place, again, the goal here is we are going to show you an easy to plan, right? 2-step combination that will, it's a move. It really is a move that's going to help you attract more guests and get them to make their first 5 purchases. Who wants their guests to make first 5 purchases faster, right? All of us, okay? Okay, now you're going to want to stay to the end. A couple reasons. A, great content coming at you. You're going to learn a lot, but we're also going to have full Q&A. We're going to go fast because we don't want to waste your time, and you're going to have questions, and we're super excited to answer every single one of those. They'll be at the end. If you have them throughout the webinar, go into the Q&A, pop them in there so you don't forget them. We'll come to those later, but go ahead, stay for the Q&A. And lastly, if you stay to the end, this is what you don't want to miss. We have a special gift that's going to help you with your business. I promise you. We literally put the finishing touches on it this morning. It's awesome. I almost wish we would just send it to you and it'd be a whole other thing. That's a different story. So with that, please allow me to introduce 2 of my colleagues here. Ivan Matkovic, Ivan, is the CEO and founder of Spengo. Ivan, how many times a day does that happen to you?
Not nonstop, but I'm Ivan at Starbucks. So I've conceded.
That's right. There's a reason why I go with just Rev, because nobody can spell or pronounce Ciancio. So I feel your pain, buddy. I know you, and I still tripped it up. Anyway, Ivan is the CEO and founder of Spengo, a leading loyalty and customer engagement solution for restaurants, retailers. He's an experienced executive in technology, marketing, and hospitality industries. Guy has a really crazy story if you want to get him on offline here. Ivan is a firm believer that if you start with the customer experience and then divine your solution stack from there, I completely agree with that. So welcome, buddy. I'm super glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks, Rev.
I'd also like to introduce Andrew Nash. He's the CEO of Targetable. Andrew is a serial entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in e-commerce, digital marketing, and analytics. He is an 8-time CEO. We're hoping he can get to 9 by the end of the year. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Andrew has led technology enterprises, including multiple startups in the US, Europe, Asia, South America, Australia, New Zealand. Again, Antarctica, let's get on the list here already. He serves on the boards of multiple early-stage technology companies and is the founder and CEO of Upover Ventures. Andrew, welcome.
Hey, great to be here, Rev. Thank you.
God bless. And if you guys don't know me, my name is Rev Ciancio. Again, I know that's hard to pronounce. You can just go with Rev here. I used to own a bar in New York City, and I'm actually opening a brand new restaurant in New York City tonight. And what we're going to be talking about on this webinar is exactly what I'm doing, okay? So I'm an advocate here. But I know exactly how hard it is to market and brand a location-based business, okay? A hospitality marketing consultant, I help restaurants raise awareness, acquire and retain customers through digital marketing, social media, and the use of incredible software. Today, though, however, we are here to talk about a really great way. Wow, where am I coming from today? To help you with acquisition and retention. We're here to talk about a simple way, a 1-2 combo, a step to get guests coming to your store and coming back to your store. So before we do that, Ivan, I want to throw the mic to you for a minute. Can you please tell us a little bit about SpendGo?
Yeah, so Spengo quite frequently fits in your loyalty bucket, right? So it's everything you want to do from when you first bring a guest in and retaining and re-engaging that guest. So that includes traditional loyalty programs like points-based. But we can also do surprise and delight. We can do, programs and strategies that don't require points, right? That are just incentives, messaging, and communication based as well. And this year we've done a lot of work partnering with great front end platforms and backend providers to really drive guest experience. So companies like Koala and its Plein Air, where we really integrate the user experience and who the customer is into your web flows.
Awesome. Love that very much. Thank you. And Andrew, can you please take a quick second to let us all know what Targetable does?
Yeah, thanks, Rev. The simplest way of saying it, we finally summarized into saying we promise not to cook if you promise not to do digital marketing. And what we decided, we kind of say that flippantly, but it's very serious in the sense that you basically only have 2 or 3 different options: do it yourself, retain an agency, or in a lot of cases, go find someone who knows a little bit about this, who's got a little bit of spare cycles, who can help me part-time to actually get it done. Turns out this is pretty tricky, and what we've built is a platform that can primarily focus on acquisition marketing, but all types of brand marketing in paid social and organic channels to get your message out there on a very cost-effective basis. We will never ask you what is your budget for ads. We think that's the wrong question. The right question is to ask is, what does your customer journey look like? What are the technology stack elements? How do we instrument and drive everything? And we are never more excited than when we can actually take paid advertising and convert that into lower cost touch point channels, like great solutions like SpendGo, where I know that Ivan and the team can create a touch point from a loyalty and retention perspective at 2 cents per interaction. You can't do that anywhere on a paid channel. So our job is to take new customers to get them into the loyalty and retention flywheel, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. And we do this everywhere from single location to massive scale to very broad definition, whether it's on-premise, off-premise, virtual, ghost, commissary, food hall, food and beverage, you name it. We cover the entire spectrum. So that's a little bit about us.
Awesome, love it, John.
We'll dig in further later.
Amen. Rachel, John, Katie, Mark, Mike, Nancy, sound good to you? Neil, you ready to go here? Let's get this rolling, okay? We're going to break into this now. Let's all agree on something. I want everybody on this webinar to agree the same thing, that marketing is hard. It is hard. I love doing it, and it is hard, okay? That is why once we get a new customer, okay, because acquisition is difficult and it is expensive, okay, because margins are tight and they're not getting any looser, right? LTV requires repeat purchases. Like, this is super hard. Rachel totally agrees. That is why once we get that new customer, right, to try out the restaurant, it is important to get them to dine with us again and again, okay? And studies show that the sooner you get them in, right, to have that second or even third experience, the higher likely that you can turn them into a loyal and frequent guest. So it's about fast movement, high volume, fast movement, lots of repeat, okay? And that is why loyalty programs and e-clubs were developed, right? They're there to keep us in touch with our guests, to get them re-engaged and dining with us again and again. Right? Just dining with us once, it's not good enough. Okay. We have to keep that customer journey spinning. It's not like the traditional sales funnel that just goes down, right? In the restaurant business, it's a circular situation, right? We're going to get them and keep them. So the key move here, the thing that you need to do to make this work, to make this cost effective, to be successful, is to go as deep as you can into the customer journey as you can for every single interaction. Okay. And that means, right, that just having them come to dine with you for the first time, right, or to place their order online for the first time is like a trial. It's not enough, okay? You got to get these guests into your database. Now, that's the key point. You got to be able to market to them again, okay? You need them following you on social media. You want them to sign up for your SMS and email alerts. You need to get them into your loyalty program, okay? That way you don't have to hope they'll come back. You can actually plot their repeat visits, okay? Does that sound good? Does it sound better to everybody, make a clear path to come back? Now, we are going to ask lots of questions to you as we go through the content here in the webinar. And what we want you to do is open up the chat, and you could say yes, you could say agree, you could say heck yeah, you could just raise your hand in Zoom if that's easy. So you can bob your head at the screen. But I'm asking you guys, do you agree? Is this what you want? Would you like a better, clear path to get your guests to come back? Okay. Assuming you do, that is where the pain sets in, right? Because now we've got pain points. Like, we want this thing, but you're probably thinking, I don't have a playbook that works or a way to execute it, okay? You could also be thinking that, man, that sounds like a big deal. I don't have the manpower, the hours to do all that work, right? And I know everybody thinks this is, I don't have a big budget, okay? Well, that is why we like digital marketing, right? Because it's measurable, it's scalable, it's nimble, and there are tools that can help us do it. And that is why we put together this webinar, because we're going to help you figure it out. Okay, who's ready to get into the playbook here? Who wants the 1-2 combo? Again, you can put your hand up, you can bob your head at the screen, you can say yes, you can say you're excited. The other rep says they're excited. Rachel's on board. Dennis is on board. Okay, so here's how this webinar works, okay? We're gonna start by sharing the story of how a brand used this exact playbook, right? And what were the results? We're gonna show you what the world can be. And once you have an idea of what's possible, we'll then take you through all the steps you need to know on how to build this powerful 1-2 combo to drive those first 5 visits. And we are literally gonna give you the playbook, right? Like I said in the promo for this is a screenshot webinar, right? If you can't write fast enough, screenshot, okay? We're going to show you how an easy to plan 2-step combo move that'll help you attract more guests and get them make those first 5 purchases. Okay, who's ready to kick this off? Ivan is not ready. He's still in line at Starbucks. All right, Neil, Rachel, Rev, Tiffany, Jim, Hans, Gordon. We got so many people on here. Are you guys ready? Dennis is like me. You know what, Dennis? We're going to do it just for you. We got some hands up, Gordon, Rachel. All right, here we go. Okay, there is a 2-step combo here to making this process work. And it starts by understanding what are our playbook goals, okay? It is about acquisition marketing and driving repeat business, which we might also call retention in this business, okay? And we have to map the customer journey from inception to loyalty to get those first 5 visits. Now, this is an incredible story, okay? Andrew and Ivan, can you please share with us what Mobettas did to absolutely crush their new store opening using social and ads? Andrew, why don't you kick that off for us?
Yeah, so this is a fairly exciting opportunity. I'm going to give a little bit more geographic context here because I'll do the compare and contrast. The particular location we're kicking off for Rev at the moment is in Bryant Park, New York City. So you've got a very dense set of demographics and, handcraft burger and brews, just saying, nice shout out, go in there, you'll get well looked after. Just say any one of the Revs sent you, just to be clear. But the alternate here is this location is actually in Amon, Idaho. And before you quickly go to Google to figure out where that is, that's in the greater Idaho Falls region. And the entire population of that greater region is about 140,000 people. So what we were charged with was actually launching a store location launch for Mobettas, a new store launch. And a little over 2 weeks before the store launch, we set out a series of campaigns, targeted campaigns, targeted offers, played this entire playbook. And here's the results. This result was actually repeated 4 days in a row. It was actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday closed, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days in a row. It was like this and had incredible results. The first thing was 3,500 valid emails were captured through the campaign from the advertising to the campaign. More importantly, they were captured all the way through into SpendGo. So of that, it was actually closer to 2,500 of the 3,500 ended up in SpendGo. So not everybody committed and signed in, so I want to go into the loyalty program, but they provided the email so you could remarket to them, okay? We had massive engagement. We had VIP events. We had a whole series of very specific measurable actions there, but we created an entire customer journey. And what I'll hand over to Ivan here in a minute is to say what he could do once we actually provide that data all the way through. The most important piece to know is we're capturing that from the time of advertisement to the action and driving it technically through to the system, as distinct from having to remarket and try something else to go and get loyalty or whatever. You're trying to capture as much action from one individual journey. And the way to think about it is to go as deep as you can in the customer journey from one touch, rather than doing multiple expensive touches to try and get the same outcome. Now, the simple math on this one, without sharing too much, ballpark, about $1,000 worth of ad spend. The revenue over the next 30 days, and the only reason we knew this is because it was instrumented all the way and we could see it in SpendGo, which is the value of that partnership and relationship to track it all the way through, was just under $50,000 in revenue from that $1,000 to spend. And I'm sure everybody on the call here will take 50 times ROAS on advertising spend all day long. Now, the interesting thing here is that not only did we take all these actions, but we created a very large awareness as well within that region. So it's not just the people who opted in. There was a really incredible awareness that was actually created there as well. And you'll see in following slides and similar, we typically see 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 plus people touched through that sort of campaign. Very inexpensive. For Handcraft, that's launching today. Again, that's Handcraft, Bryant Park, big plug. We for less than a couple of $100, we got over 100,000 impressions in New York City in 3 days in digital advertising. We've already got VIP event signups. We've already got people there ready to pre-order, and we've already got orders off the platform already, and we haven't even got the launch going yet, right, Rev? So handing over to Ivan, I want sort of Ivan now to say, when you work with this, how good is it for you to receive this sort of data to kick off your system?
And I think, when we look at, the mobettas implementation, one of the key success factors is the acquisition and retention strategy we're connected from the get-go, right? So frequently what you get is an ad or, a campaign of a store opening or something of that nature. And you're basically relying then on organic signups, right? And if you don't create the intent for these people to sign up for the loyalty program, you're really missing a huge opportunity. A similar store opening over that 3-day time span, even with great marketing, right? You're probably talking about hundreds of people signing up for the program, whereas here you have 2,000 members from the get-go. And a brand and a location like this is probably expecting around 5,000 signups in the first year. So week one in, 40% of the way there, that's huge. So they've really taken advantage of the ad campaign and doubled its effectiveness immediately in terms of, hey, we're now signing up these people, and now we can remarket, incentivize, and target them to get to visit number 5. And the reason why we so emphasize visit number 5 is that's when we feel you've really established a habit for these guests. And it's not going to be the same for every business. So, it's kind of a general rule, right? And, in a QSR environment, you're probably doing 5 visits within the first couple of months. And if you can get them to visit number 5, you're really going to retain that guest over the long term. And so much of this conversation today is going to be about that. How do you approach each visit now that you've run a great campaign with a company like Targetable, right? Where they are able to build all that awareness. They're able to get all those people to line outside your restaurant. Now make the most of it.
Yeah, the other thing, just before we move on, it's very important. We're combining multiple actions here, so we are actually getting both collection of the email address and or contact details. In some cases, we've also got email plus phone number, and actually getting opt-in as part of that journey. So we're not having to go through multiple steps downstream. We're actually collecting all of that opt-in and information on the fly in the journey. So that's what I mean by going deep. Take the action, go deep. Now you get quicker to the point to go and get visit 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I mean, you've heard me say this before, but I think this is awesome. All right, before we give you the playbook, Donna, Elijah, Gillies, Gordon, Hans, right? Does this sound good to you? Would you like to spend $1,000 if you could get $50,000 in revenue, get 3,500 emails and 2,000 people into your? Who does this sound good to? Does this sound good? Is this what you guys want? Are you guys ready to get the playbook? I'm excited. All right, there we go. There are all the hands up going. All right, let's give it to you. Okay, so let's start. Okay, this is super important, and Andrew's going to go deep in a second. You can't just run this any day. Okay, the key is that this whole promotion, this whole playbook has to hang itself on event marketing. Now, that could be a store opening, it could be anniversary, it could be a new menu or tasting, or like an actual event where you're taking reservations. But Andrew, you want to go a little deep on that for a quick second?
Yeah, so the issue here is we have to remember that one of the big parts of hospitality is experience. It's not just transaction, it's about experience. Why am I coming here? Why do I want to get excited? How can I build some affinity with your brand? And the easiest way to do that is, we talk the example here of a store opening as an event, and that's an obvious one. That's easy. Hey, we have like 0 brand awareness in this particular location. We want to create brand awareness. We want to create audience. That's an easier one. Now, the next one is, anniversary. This is our first anniversary. This is our 5th anniversary. This is our, you can create any number of compelling reasons to come in. Now, the important thing is we're also not promoting that you have to give stuff away each time you actually do this, but there's actually going to be a cool reason to come in there. Come and celebrate something. Come be part of our experience. We have another client who has a particular hat giveaway, which is exclusive and will only ever be given away exclusively in store at a particular location, and wants to have value associated with that, and you cannot get it any other place. Those sort of things are actually really cool. Drive a compelling reason to be there. Build that brand affinity. New menus, tastings, VIP events, those things work really well. And the other one, I'll give you an example. On this particular one, we ran a VIP event, and this is an interesting use case. We also just put a simple widget inside of a landing page to do an open table booking. So if you already have open table or Resi or a similar reservation system, most of them all have reservation widgets. Put the reservation widget somewhere else, attach it to the advertising journey, drive it into whatever your reservation system in, and you can instrument all of that. You can see exactly where that campaign come from. So now I can figure out what's my cost per reservation, independent of my cost. And what we're starting to do is we're figuring out the costs and the value of each of the individual pieces of the customer journey. So it's not just the particular event. You're trying to understand which particular events drive value and drive revenue for you in your particular market, in your particular concept, in your particular segment and demographic. And it's different. It's different in a brew pub. It's different in QSR. It's different in fine dining. And you've got to vary it up. So the only part of the playbook is invent marketing, but that's not a recipe. You've got to figure out the particular one that works for you in your environment.
All right, so everybody put yourself in a mindset of you're having an event. Use one of these as an example. Mobettas was a new store opening, and so now we're going to walk what through the playbook looks like. So we need to start with the acquisition piece. We need to start with how do we get guests into the system. All right, Andrew, you want to walk into what it means to define these target demographics real quick, please?
Yeah, the simplest way of doing this is if you're an existing brand, existing location, get your Google Analytics or Simple off your website ordering system and similar. It'll give you a good proxy for what the demographic in the audience looks like. Is it skewed younger? Is it skewed older? We're working with someone today that actually in the morning they do coffee and breakfasts, and that skews older. In the afternoon, it's a brew pub, and that skews younger. Okay, that's great. Understand the target demographics, the regions where they come from, and there are the ability to use customer lookalike audience data sets in your advertising. We typically say use that a little bit later once you figure out what campaigns work. Don't confuse the two to start with. But you can turbocharge this with existing data, and can literally, as long as you understand the demographics, you know where to target. Otherwise, you're targeting 18 to 65-year-olds, and that's just too broad.
Too broad. You got to know you're going after. Okay, so you got to define those target demographics, and the next piece, okay, is this landing page. Okay, and we need to create a landing page now. Andrew, I think most people understand what a landing page is, but you want to walk them through this, what it does, and what it's supposed to do.
So the very important piece of a landing page is it is a single web page. That outlines the actual offer and gets you to very clearly get in there. Because if you just drive someone to a website, then they've got to go figure out, okay, what am I looking for? So what we do with the landing page is we just narrow down exactly what it is, the offer that you want, and we're getting you to provide the minimal amount of data in the journey to get you to the next step and actually get you to confirm that that's exactly what we want you to do and drive you to the exact place in the system. Now, whether that's an ordering page, a loyalty sign up, a reservation, whatever it is, that's what you're trying to do. We always go for opt-in as often as we can, because now I'm also confirming that my intent to do something, but I'm also confirming that I actually opt in to be marketed to by this brand. And that's the most powerful technique. If we don't do that, I have to get to a point where someone actually has to find their way into a loyalty system and then ask permission first to be able to. And the downside of that is that's too many drop-off points. And you want to be able to capture as much data as you can, as quick as you can, and then drive it and technically drive itself through the system.
All right, so guys, you need a landing page where you can capture data. And Andrew said this, it's important that there's opt-in language there. So they're saying, yes, you can please market to me after this, right? Super important. Okay, the next piece of this is the actual social ads themselves. Now, there's a couple of key elements in here and a few things to roll out. Andrew, you want to walk through that for us, please?
Yeah, well, first of all, while you're all looking at that and salivating, you all want to run out to Mobettas and grab yourself some really awesome Hawaiian cuisine, right? So first of all, it's got to be compelling. It's got to be on brand. And it looks a little busy, but it's pretty clear. Click here for $5 off. Join up for the VIP event. It's on brand. The food looks great. And it should be very simple and very clear. So you can see even in the copy up top, it was Mobettas is now open, or Mobettas says aloha to Amon, Idaho, right? We're a new friend in town. This has got everything that you need. It's really clear. It tells you what it is. It repeats down the bottom where you can see on the one on the left. You know, here's the action. Click on the button there. Get the offer. It's pretty clear.
All right, so we got that piece. The next part is the budget. How do we get into our budget?
Okay, so what we basically do is we typically anywhere between $10 and $20 per day per location, and we start small. One of the biggest mistakes is that a lot of folks think that you have to spend a ton of money. What we try to do is, and think of it as a three-phase step up when you're doing something like this. I want to turn it on, warm up the engines, figure out what's working and what's not working in A/B testing. Then turn it up, burn pretty hot, and then bring it down to a set of ads that actually really perform once you've figured out what works and doesn't work against your demographic, the copy, the content, and the offers. So the interesting thing, we often have like 3 or 4 offers. And then within a week or so, we can see which 2 of the 5 are actually working. We kill off the other 3 and just go with the other 2. But it's almost random by location, by demo, by concept. So you can't cast a wide net. There is no sort of one size fits all here. And that's how you start small, spend sensibly, then scale up.
Love it. Awesome. All right. And so here's the deal. Okay. So what we've done, right, is we've run a bunch of ads built on intelligence. We didn't just run them, again, 18 to 65. We kind of knew who we were going after, right? We got them to a landing page that had an opt-in. They've given us their email address. We've narrowed down which ads, which targeting we're doing. We're getting super hyper focused. So now they are in the database. We now have them. So what we want to talk about now is we're going to flip to the other side. Okay. You've got them in your database. You had that VIP event, stores open, whatever it is. Okay. We got to talk about how to drive those return trips. So Ivana, I'm going to throw this to you. Let's talk about what evergreen sequences are.
Yeah. And when you look at an evergreen sequence, what you're trying to do is, hey, I want to map out once this person enters the flow, or once this person enters my database, right? What am I going to communicate to them? What is that story that this guest is going to experience from the moment that we sign them up from this acquisition campaign through however many visits is your objective or goal, right? Some brands, it might be, let's get to 3, other brands 5, other brands 7, right? We use kind of a middle ground here, 5. But, you know, if I get that ad on social, click, join, sign up, opt in, what are those next 5 steps look like? And then that way you can continue to optimize the flow, and you want to try to keep it very specific and tight. One of the other things that, you know, brands will frequently run into is too many sequences, right? Or too many different stories or journeys or paths. And then you can't really measure what's driving effectiveness, right? So especially for, you know, a lot of you are going to be doing this for the first time, try to keep it simple. Start with some assumptions. You're not going to get it perfect on day one, and really build up your communication plan and your incentive strategy to get to that end objective.
Right. And very importantly, it does say this on the screen, but you're going to be using email and SMS to drive these messages to your guests, because again, they opted in, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to walk through what needs to happen to drive each visit. So let's talk about the first visit. Again, we've got their information from the ads. Ivan, walk us through what driving the first visit looks like. How do you do this? What's the strategy, the tactic?
Yeah. So, you know, as with most brands, right, the idea of discounting is not the end objective here. But, you know, what a lot of brands do, and it's kind of a little bit of a hack, you'll usually have a sign up offer with your loyalty program anyway. So you can kind of repurpose that offer as your acquisition offer in the ad campaign, right? So if you already have, like, you know, a buy one, get one free or $5 off for joining up, you can kind of save yourself by repurposing that offer for 2 things at once. But some of the other incentives that really drive that initial visit would be free delivery or some sort of exclusivity as part of being one of the first customers to show up. Those are really successful campaigns and hooks. And the goal is get them in the first place. So this is very much tied into that ad acquisition offer that you are running with Targetable before they even show up. And these are very much aligned together in terms of the incentive.
Mike, Martin, John, Katie, Neil, I want to make sure this is sounding good to you. You feeling us? You feeling already the first move here? All right, good. Let's move into driving that second visit, okay? Because I know for a fact that Hans and Gordon are like, yes, get me that second visit. So, Ivan, let's talk about how this one works.
Yeah, so the second visit, again, it's almost like another acquisition that you're running, right? But now you're running an acquisition to a known guest, right? And that's the kind of mentality you're thinking here. It's, in all of our experience, that trying it to get into that second visit, that's where the biggest drop off is. So you want to run a bounce back offer, something with a limited time, right? Come back in within 14 days, come back in within, a week if you're like a coffee shop or something like that, right? Understanding what your visit cadence is and try to get the guests back in within that typical visit cadence you're looking for. And, we always feel this is where you got to be most aggressive because this is where the biggest drop off is. So you get them into visit one, they try it out. Maybe you can get them to try a different menu item, right? Maybe you can, get them to see the benefit of the loyalty program by offering bonus points. But get that second visit, whatever you can, using this known channel is going to save you a ton of money on advertising later to get these people back in.
Can I give away free fries?
You can give away free fries. What we will say is don't give away the whole visit, right? I think that's one of our tips at the end here. The objective here is give them enough to come in and still spend money, but you don't want to give away a visit.
So no lobster dinners.
No
fries is
dinners.
Good.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, Elijah, Brett, Carol, you've got 2 visits in. You guys ready for number 3? Gordon, Hans, Harry, you ready for 3? Okay, let's talk about 3 and 4 at the same time. So, Ivan, again, walk us through with the 3rd and 4th trip. How do we get that happening?
Yeah, so you've got them in visit 1 and 2, right? Those are really going to be the incentive heavy visits. Visits 3 and 4, you typically don't want to keep giving stuff away, right? You don't want only discount type customers. You want people that really understand the brand and that want to come back in. So this is where we really lean on the type of communication you drive. So, trying other types of menu items, asking for feedback, right? This is a great point to understand what customers liked and didn't like. And it's a way to engage them again, post their second visit. It's, a way to promote a special or some changes in your menu. And then, if you're a reservation taking restaurant, start asking them to make reservations, right? This is kind of the point of that where, hey, you've done this twice. It's good, right? So keep coming back in. And here are some reasons to keep coming back in that you didn't really get to experience in visits 1 and 2.
Awesome. All right. It seems pretty simple to me, to be honest. Are you with me, Nancy? You with me, Mark? I hope you guys are. All right. Magical 5th visit. How does it work?
Yeah. So 5th visit, if you designed your loyalty program intuitively, right? 5th visit is usually when they've earned the reward, right? So you don't necessarily need another hook or another incentive to get to visit 5. By this point, hopefully they've earned enough points that they're coming back in to use that reward before it expires. So, that's kind of like organically there to begin with. But, if it doesn't have that, or if that's not part of your program design, this is where bonus point incentives are the best, right? They don't cost you a ton of money because you're giving away points. And then what that also drives is a future visit, right? Because hopefully you give them enough points to earn that reward and get visit 6 or visit number 7 from them in your kind of journey build. So this is where, the actual points program really comes in handy and organically drives those kind of visits 5 through, 10.
All right. I think this sounds simple, right? Because now I have a roadmap. So I want to ask everybody that's on the webinar before we proceed, because we got some tips and tricks for you here. Does this seem way easier than you thought it was? John, Katie, Mark, Harry, Hans, does this sound way easier? Again, you can put your hand up. You can say yes in the chat. You can bob your head. The idea here is like, Mark has jumped to the top of the crowd here with the yeses. All right, cool. Guys, now there's a couple of things here. We've walked you through the acquisition playbook. We've walked you through the retention playbook. You've driven the 5. There's some really important points here, okay? And we want to talk through some best practices, okay? Number 1 is use a time-bound offer, like an event. An event is a time-bound offer, but also like Ivan was saying with the bounce backs, hey, you have 7 days to use your free fry coupon or whatever it is. So it's important that it drives urgency around a time-bound offer, okay? Second one, Ivan, you started to get into this, is never give away a visit. No free trial. So no lobster dinners. Free fries good, free lobster bad, right? The idea is you still want them to reach into their pocket and pull out their wallet, and you still want them to spend money, right? So get them enough to get through the door, but not enough to take care of everything. Is that, we're on board with that? Absolutely. Okay. Also, do not use 5 offers in a row. Ivan, why should we not do 5 offers in a row?
You're not looking for people that only want discounts, right? And I actually got a question here where what if what people are looking for aren't discounts? Wow, the delivery, perfect timing, right?
Delivery's here. Is it mobettas? Did you get mobettas delivered?
No, I did not. It's UPS likes to show up right now. Well, so what you're looking to do there is not get the discount hunters. You're looking for user experience folks, and it's a great opportunity to if you don't want to do discounts, promote menu items, promote soft benefits like preferred reservations or preferred seating. Those are alternatives that you can also leverage as incentives for folks to come in and experience your brand. So kind of to answer, Harry asked me a question, how do you do it without offers? Soft benefits are another way.
And that really leads into the next best practice. And I know you guys have already read ahead, but that is promote the brand experience. Okay. What makes you special, especially like those 3rd and 4th visits? Put an email or a message in front of them that just talks about why people love you, right? What are the things that are another benefit of being a fan of this business? Do you have a really cool Toys for Tots drive? Do you raise money for charity? Do you have this unbelievable black truffle sauce that you can't get anywhere? Whatever that is, right? All those things. How do you treat your employees? It doesn't, but use those for branding, okay? And that will build an emotional loyalty to your guests, okay? Last one, this is have a week 1 make right plan, because what if something goes wrong? Now, Andrew, this is like something I know you're incredibly passionate about. So do you want to take a second here to go deep into what is a week 1 make right plan?
Yeah, so it's what I call plan to succeed, plan to fail. And put together the customer journey, plan that it all is going to go beautifully and everything's going to go correct. If something goes off the rails for whatever reason, and I'll give you a couple of examples we've experienced. We were so successful, they ran out of food.
Oh my!
Literally ran out of food because the demand was just so great. Now, quickly scrambled around, got it all figured out, but you don't want to do that on the fly. So on the fly. The other thing is if something goes wrong, the staffing doesn't turn up and therefore it's not a great experience, what immediately are you going to do to make it right? Not what are you going to do to make it right next week, the week after, whatever, because this is the first interaction with, especially on acquisition marketing, this is the first interaction with the brand and you want to make sure it's good. In 100% of cases, you'd love it to be good, but God bless you if you get 100% because you've nailed it. Something will go wrong. Make sure you've got the make right plan and whatever the tactic or the action, and it's clearly communicated to all the team members. It's not just, and this comes back to experience. If something goes a little awry, it's not a digital problem. Now it's an experience problem, and everybody needs to be well briefed, well communicated, and be able to respond effectively immediately.
And
super important.
I'll just add to that. It's an opportunity to build loyalty, right?
Absolutely.
Because what you're communicating to the guest is, I know we messed up, but this is how important your business is to us and being a guest. And people really respond to how you make right and how efficiently you make right. I think I'm a loyal customer to Amazon forever because for whenever a package doesn't show up, no questions asked, they'll just resend it to me, right? And just that alone makes it so much less painful to continue to buy from them.
Yeah, and the key message I want to be clear on this it's not just, oh, something went wrong, we're just going to compute.
Yeah,
that's a meal with empty calories. That's so what, I didn't get anything from that, versus just a gesture that says, absolutely, let me acknowledge, or let me do this next time, or can I also do this? That's the more powerful technique.
Yeah,
love it. Okay, who would like to see the entire playbook on one screen? Wait for the hands to go up here. All right, here we go. Here is the entire playbook on one screen, okay? Let's review it real quick. So you need to map that customer journey, okay? You got to define the target demographics. Again, we're still in the acquisition play. You need the landing page, right, to be able to capture the data. It has to have the opt-in. You need social ads that drive people to the landing page. And once they've opted in, you got to have that appropriate budget. And the last piece is the evergreen sequences that we just went through. So this is the 1-2 combination. Everybody screenshot this. We got screenshots going. This is the screenshot moment. Okay, you got that? Let's do this. All right, as always, you guys know, I said this in my intro, I believe in tech that can accelerate your business. That is why I talk about the ones that can work, okay? You should check out what happens when you combine Targetable with SpendGo, okay? Targetable is gonna make it super easy for you to create those Facebook and Instagram ads that helps you target locals to place that order with you, to get them to that landing page. Okay, they're also gonna help you build that landing page. You can turn Targetable on and it just works in the background, finding all these local people to get into your CRM, into your loyalty, okay? Plus, in addition, we didn't talk about it in this webinar, but they can manage all of your organic social media for you, okay? And that helps ensure the customer journey, because they're going to go look afterwards and be like, oh, what's on the menu? And they're going to go to Instagram, okay? Now, what does it say about your program if you're giving away free money to customers and they're turning you down, okay? They're not really that loyal to you, okay? But with SpendGo's omnichannel marketing tools, you can successfully engage, retain, and incentivize your guests, your customers, while seamlessly integrating with any POS system, right? And any online platform. It's going to impact what really matters, which is your bottom line, okay? And with SpendGo, you get an unmatched program adoption, reward redemption, all kinds of signups, okay? When you use these two solutions together, okay, this is actually the 1-2 combo for driving the first 5 visits. And we are doing this in my restaurant. So we may have to do this webinar, guys, when we have the results for Handcraft Burgers and Brews. So sound good?
Thank you, Rev.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Make it a great tasty day, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right.